Hey, everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk Business. Today, I'm super grateful for having Miss Ashley Arrington to join us today for Let's Talk Business. As you know, this is the opportunity for us to just have a conversation about what it's like to be a business owner, what fuels our passion, and really inspire others that may be in the journey or thinking about getting started on what to expect or just how to learn from other people's experiences. So thank you so very much, Ashley, for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. And so Ashley is the co-founder of Generational Changers. If you can let us know, like give us more information, like what is Generational Changers?
Right, of course. So, Generational Changers, it was birthed out of my sister and I, Chelsea Arrington. She, of course, is the founder. And like Ms. Gary said, I am the co founder. And Generational Changers is just an organization that was created to build and transform authentic leaders, especially that was geared to the millennial generation, because oftentimes we do not have an outlet that's designated for us to become a participate in. So that's what Generational Changers is truly about.
Well, that's awesome to hear. And I guess one of the things I would love for you to be able to share, like, how did that start? Like, was there an aha moment, like, wow, I should really do this? Or where did they really come from?
Well, actually, me and my sister, we were just sitting down on the couch. It was like a Friday. And of course, she majored in entrepreneurship and family business. So we was trying to generate ideas of how we can collaborate our two degrees together to make a business. So I had all of a sudden said the name generational, and she added the end part changers. So then
Wow.
that's where we started to say, oh, what can we do to make that name stand out, and how can we bring people in? And we know that there are plenty of organizations available for like the older adults, but it was like, okay, we're going to make sure that there is something set in place for the millennial population. So that is how it started on our couch, just one late Friday night talking.
But I think those sometimes are some of the most amazing stories because I feel that sometimes that's the barrier for people even getting started because they feel it has to be like this big aha moment per se when it can just be you knowing that there is a problem and you're trying to find a way to provide a solution with it.
Right, right. And that's funny that you said that because it was also during that time where a lot of, say, violence was going on, and you saw a lot of things, say, displayed throughout social media and throughout the news and stuff. So it was like that's what we need within our local community here to make sure a change is brought about. So I agree 100%.
And for, I guess, like, what is ultimately your passion or like what fuels you to keep? I mean, because entrepreneurship honestly is not like the smooth ride. So it has to be a big why to keep you motivated. So, what really keeps you motivated to doing this?
What really keeps me motivated is the desire to see people's lives change. I had the opportunity of majoring in social work, so I enjoy really helping people in a nutshell. So although my strength might not be the business part of our business, like you say, entrepreneurship, it is ever growing. You will ever grow and you will ever learn from it. So I truly do not believe that it's something that's like you just know or is set in stone. As you grow, you learn how to operate a business, especially being a younger individual, I would say, learning different people's personalities and making sure that we engage those, like we say, to retain the population that we get to, reach or touch every day. So I am so passionate about helping others any way that I can. I do it say on a daily basis through my job, and it's
Mhm.
just a passion and a desire that I believe that I will forever have within my heart.
But that's awesome. I mean, because as much as, there is this trend of people just doing something, I guess, to quote, quote, make money. But the reality is for you to really stay in it, it has to be something more than just the monetary aspect that gets you going, especially when it might be slow or when you hit a bump in the road, because it's always a growth journey within. I mean, anyone that's a business owner in 2020 that hasn't learned to grow, I don't know.
Right.
So what do you, and like, I guess since that just came up, like how has 2020 and like the pandemic affected either people coming into your business or just you being able to assist them?
Wow. COVID-19. That's all I can say. We just COVID-19 changed the whole trajectory of our business because our business is more like outreach. So we do a lot of community service events. For example, so COVID-19 had hit in March, and we normally have our Easter egg hunt, our local community-wide Easter egg hunt in April. So when the pandemic came through, it changed the whole plans, and we always plan, say, a year in advance for the upcoming year. So we had the location set in spot and everything, flyers made, but time that hit, that changed it. And also, we do our back to school giveaway in July. So although we could not do the backpacks and the one-on-one, kind of meet and greet kind of thing, we had to change it to assist, say, the population of today by doing a drive-through. We did a drive-through giveaway where we just had to put them in their trunks or their cars, but still say being available. So it changed it a whole lot. It threw us for, say, a loop, but it also it encouraged us to see things from a different, perspective. Because oftentimes, like you say, you get set and say, okay, this is the way that we had planned. So being flexible, I guess you can say, learning how to be flexible with whatever is going on in today or whatever was going on in our world. So I would say great learning experience, but I am glad for it because had it not been for COVID-19, we would not have been able to think or innovate new ways to assist like we, normally would. So definitely.
But I agree 100% because I feel like most, and from some of the other people I've interviewed and just friends I know outside, and we've had conversations about how it has caused them to pivot or start to offer things that if it didn't happen, that they would have never considered doing. And it's required a new perspective to appear. And what's like, if you don't mind sharing, if anything comes to your mind, what is something that you had to implement that even after we are quote unquote back to normal, whatever that's supposed to be or mean, that you still are going to want to implement in your business moving forward?
I would say, I guess the big thing is safety, as far as being safety when coming in contact with others. Prior to, I know I am more of the hugging, loving, want to be in your face kind of personality, but also learning, it brought a new awareness, I would guess, and a new precaution to, you never know, what, someone might, have, but also, although that is the new precaution, I'm not going to allow it to stop or change me for, who I am and how I interact with people. But I guess it just made me become more aware moving forward. Safety precautions, health, a big thing on health as well, because I know sometimes, like I said, we do a lot of outreach. So making sure that our volunteers are more than able and capable to carry out the task, because sometimes we work in the heat. We'll say without being did up, it's just heat and labor, but it's volunteering and we find great joy in doing it. So we don't, mind doing it at all.
Yeah.
So just implementing those new things, and like I say, just seeing the world in a new way.
Yeah.
Because I truly, although COVID-19 has taken place, like they say, we will never go back to being normal,
Yeah.
but we'll have a new way of seeing things throughout the future and in the days ahead. So truly believe that.
Awesome. And so and you explained that your niche is the millennials. So if someone wanted to come to you, is it that you help them with finding a job or you train them to be leaders? What would they come to you for, just in case someone is curious?
Yes. So most of the millennials that come to us, they really try to find their purpose.
Mhm.
And although my sister and I, we really can't say, oh, this is what you was created to do, or this is what we try to say, we try to implement or provide an outlet for them to engage through mentorship, through servitude, through community service, and to say, man, although I'm giving back, maybe this is something that I will be interested in the future. So, like I say, providing that kind of outlet, they come. We had a Gen Z group, and that's where we did our mentorship, and that is just training the next generation to take our lead, whether it's in business, finance, whatever arena, whatever sector it might be. That is what we have been doing as well. So heavy on the mentorship, heavy on the community service, and assisting them in leading them or guiding them in the right direction to help them identify their purpose, although we won't be able to tell them this is, this is it, or this is.
So for the mentors, are they in different industries or do you only specialize in specific industries when it comes to mentoring?
Right. So the mentors are in different industries. So what we generally do is we try to find out what our Gen Z, as we call them, the younger generation, what are they interested in the future? And based upon what they give us, then we link them to the right person who is close to that field or who is in that area right now. And then that's when they start to build rapport, communication, and then that's how the mentorship began. So finding their likes, their dislikes, their interests, and then linking them accordingly. So that is how we do the mentorship program here.
And mentoring is, I think, is so fundamental in general, like be it if you're going into business or just going to life, because sometimes people don't always, let's say, get the best of examples growing up. So mentoring does play a major part for people that, because you'll hear sometimes like people like, oh, I don't like to share, because when they share, then maybe a family member says that's stupid or whatever. And it's only because that's what they've been exposed to. So it's great to have a mentor because they've already walked that path and they can help with nurturing and sharing and showing things that maybe they may not have normally been exposed to in their home.
I agree because most of the population or most of the young people that we have worked with, like you say, they have not had that great or that kind of example that can be like, oh, I can be like that when I grow up. Because oftentimes the environment that they live in, it says the opposite.
Yeah.
So I am so strong on being an example for other people to say, man, although I might not have been raised like that, I truly believe that one day I can be like that. So I listen 100%. And that is what we aim to do it. Although nobody within our say organization is perfect or has things, that put together, we still try and aim to provide or to display respectfully of what they can be in the future. So
And that's so important because even with, I feel like there's never a time when you're just not learning. I mean, even some of the biggest well-known speakers or celebrities or figures, they all have mentors still too. It's like you're always constantly needing someone to show you, how do you walk into certain rooms? How do you get to the next level? How do you, because sometimes just really getting the exposure that plays a major part for people to even think big. And then once you start to think big and do that, then it's getting exposure to the next level, because it's like, how I didn't know that this was even possible.
Right, right.
What would you say is one of the biggest challenges that the mentees or the program participants face when they come to you?
I think I said it a little bit just a couple of minutes ago. One of the biggest things that most people say is, I don't know what I was created for. I don't know my purpose. What am I here for? And like I said, it creates a kind of hindrance on their journey, because it's like, I'm going through life. Am I supposed to go to school? Am I supposed to go to the military? I mean, am I just supposed to be at home? Am I supposed to be a YouTuber? It's like, what am I supposed to do? And of course, it often occurs, like you say, in the younger age. But I often find even people who are my age, like I say, millennials, we don't know what we're created for. We don't know what is our purpose. We see, like you say, we see the celebrities, we see those great figures, but it's like, what is my identity? So helping, like I say, helping them um, find their identity, find what their interest is, what their pros, what their cons, and say, maybe that's the route you might want to take.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the route you might not want to take. So I would say, every time we hear, what am I created for? What's my purpose? And yeah, so that is one of the main focus that most people say all the time, or the challenge, rather say.
And is it like a program? And if it is a program, how long would someone sign up for? Do they have to make an agreement to participate?
So it's not a program. It's more of like, I guess you can say, an organization where you can pay a fee. Of course, if people do not have the funds to pay them, then we are flexible accordingly. But it is more of an organization where members can pay a fee, a yearly fee, to be a part of generational changers. Within the fee, they will get, of course, a T-shirt, a little booklet that explains what generational changers is, and of course, some free sessions for mentorship and a lot of community service. So
Yeah.
that is what our organization is.
And as far as like your mentors, if someone is watching this and, well, this is a twofer. Are you only in one specific location? And if someone wanted to mentor, would they need to be local, or how would they go about starting that process?
Well, right now we are located in one location. Of course, our future goal is to expand. And yes, if someone did want to mentor, and they are in a different location, we would provide that, because technology such as Zoom allows us to say, become flexible, and just, like you say, think of innovative ways to reach a whole, say, different group of people that might not be in our local community. So yes, to both local and to both in different locations as well.
Awesome. And you'll be able to repeat it, but also could you let anybody know, if at this point, if they did want to be a mentor, where would they go to submit themselves or be considered?
Okay, to become a mentor, you can go to our website, which is generationalchangers.com, or you can inbox us on our Facebook page, which is, of course, Generational Changers. So either one of those outlets, we will receive your message and, of course, get back in contact with you with further instructions on how to become a mentor within our organization.
Awesome. I was like, just in case anyone's watching, like, oh, I want to
Right.
sign up. Don't want to get lost in the whole conversation.
Sure.
But one of the things that I always love about like programs, like I love the name. When I first saw the name, I was like, oh, generational changers, because I don't know if we always are present to how generational thinking can impact, and like how it can, how sometimes our mindset is shaped not just from our parents but even from our great grandparents, because it's just being passed on long term. For anyone that has been in your program, what is one of the biggest benefits that they've been able to see by being a part of your organization?
One of the biggest benefits that they have been able to see is, I guess, a mindset change, if I could say it like that,
Yeah.
changing their perspective in the way, also, like I said, we're big on giving back. So as they give back, they say, man, I did not know there was such a great need for this within our community. So I believe it's a big perspective change, mindset, and also attitude. A big
Yeah.
attitude change on how they view life and how they view what's happening, within our world. So that's what I would say the biggest benefit is the mindset. And that's what we try to come for, most definitely, because once you can change, well, although we cannot change a person's, mind,
Yeah.
we can try to aid in the way that they think, which causes change to take place in their lives. So, yes.
Yeah, mindset is, it plays such a big part. Like it really, really does. And I think as we were talking about beforehand, is like coming from, let's say, DC to Shreveport, Louisiana, is a totally different mindset on certain things just because exposure.
Yes.
And like that can sometimes be crippling, especially if someone is looking to do something in a different industry. Because here, the major industries are really casinos and oil field.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, those are main industries. You do have some entrepreneurship stuff, but for the most part, a lot of people are doing, if they're wanting a good job, a quote unquote good job, they're going to the oil fields. And then before COVID, you had consistent work at the casinos. But with everything changed, of course, that shifts it up. So when you are doing tackling mindset, is it more or less from the mentoring, or do you also encourage them to do other types of training or reading to help with tackling that?
Right. We help say the holistic point, the holistic view. So not just one. So although, for instance, they might come with one area, for instance, education for our younger people, not knowing what they want to do when they graduate. So providing that, say that outlet, like I say again, for them to think, okay, although graduation, although college or military might be the next step, after then, what do you want to become? What do you want to be in life? What do
Mhm.
you want to achieve? So not just hitting one area, but trying to view it from a holistic standpoint so that wholly, there's a wholly they can be say who they can be in life. So
Perfect. So I have kind of a personal question for you. What is one of the areas, what's an area that you've had to tackle within mindset growth as a co-founder?
ooh, that is a great question. Let's see. I guess I would say identity
Mm.
is one that I had to tackle, and that's pretty much with the younger ladies or younger girls with our within our organization. Just emphasizing to them to know who they are and to be confident in who they are. So that big self confidence. Because if you remember back in high school, say peer pressure was real.
Yeah.
So trying to aid them and to be comfortable with who they are, say whether they are slim, whether, whatever, no matter whatever size they are, because I know right now there's a big focus on oh, if you're not thick, if you don't have the, Coke
Yeah.
shaped bottle, then you're not hitting on nothing.
Yeah.
But but learning just to say a system and say whatever size you are, however you look, you're beautiful just the way you are. So I would say that is something that I'm big on and that I had to tackle is just emphasizing that be confident in who you are. And sometimes I know that it takes a minute because so many things, such as Instagram, social media, it says to look this way or act this way. So that is something that I would say, as a co-founder, personally, that I would have to always emphasize to say the mentees.
So here's another really good question. Since you are co-founding with your sister,
Huh? Oh.
how does it feel? I mean, like like, how do you separate it, and how is there a separation? No.
Oh no! I'm waiting for you to finish the question because this is a good question.
How do you separate it, and like what, like how is it like really working with a sibling?
Woo! And I just say woo. But my sister, we are literally day and night.
Okay.
So like I say, our strengths and weaknesses are totally different, very much. And when it comes to business, I would say just overviewing where we started from to this day, I say, woo, want to get woo. Because it is truly a growing because like I say, my degree was in social work. So I am more personal, I'm more relational with people.
Yeah.
And hers is about business. So she's very strategic in the way that she thinks. So
Yeah.
oftentimes I'm like, I want to just talk to the people. And she's like, well, we need to get this done by this deadline, all of this stuff. And I'm like, this is not how I think. This is not how I think like this. So, but I love it because she has helped me to think more business minded, in which I was not. I was not. I was more about wanting to maintain the people that came in and build relationships with them, more than seeing it from a like you say, a public standpoint.
Yeah.
Or ways to better push it. So, like I say, the sister and the business side is totally two different two different realms. So when you come to her business, you got to come to her business. But
Yeah.
on a say other day, she's fine. She's fine.
But it's funny because like one of my sisters is a lot. It's five of us, and so one of my sisters is like super studious and like is into the details and things of that nature, and I love that about her. And where I'm more of like the business creative kind of person, I come up with the ideas, I really don't pay attention to all the details, and
Right.
kind of like throw it to the wall. What sticks, what doesn't, keep moving.
Okay, let's just get it done.
Like, and just keep it moving. Where
Okay.
it's great though that one of the benefits I do think to working with a sibling, especially when you do have differences, one is just learning how to communicate, but then it's great that there are those differences because where that you may not necessarily be the strongest in and they're filling in that gap, it helps with balancing having to know it all because collectively you have the best of both worlds.
Yes, and that is also true. And that's what we found with each other is like I say, learning what each other's strengths are. And once we knew that, then we knew the boundaries to set up, okay, you can handle A through, Z or A through Y.
Yeah.
And let Ashley handle the rest of the part, because I know I can be effective with people. And she can be effective with making sure that this business get to where it needs to be, say say what you call it, advertisement wise, to
Mm.
to the nitty gritty of it. So like it has helped,
Yeah.
but it has, like I said, also been a growing experience as well. And to see her as, okay, although I am the co-founder, she is still the founder. So let's make sure that we work together always to get this goal that we had set in place accomplished at the end of the day. So
And I hope that anyone that watches has picked up on, as you say, you set boundaries, you learn what each other's strengths are so that you can push forward, but then you all still, both of you still stay focused on the goal. And I feel like those are very four strong points for anyone that's really wanting to work with family, is to know that, because when there aren't those boundaries and there aren't those clear conversations, that's what causes those disagreements and those barriers, because no one's saying anything and they're just reacting because they're afraid to have the real conversations. So I appreciate you saying that. When you said that, I was like, oh, working with family, you often.
I was like,
but it's great because I feel that it's one of those things, especially when you're both starting it out together, then it's a blend of the both of you that's able to really take the business to the next level. One of the things I like to always ask people is like, what would you like to see happen in your business within the next 5 years?
Well, within the next 5 years, we would like to see our business expand nationally. So taking it from our local community and starting, I guess you can say it like a franchisement within different states. And of course, getting people to lead there, and to, of course, gather mentees along the way to continue what we have started. So we don't want it to stop with us. We want it to continue to excel and leave a legacy within different states, and leave our imprint some kind of way, and say, man, there are generational changes, say in the state of California, in Georgia, say in Arizona, you name it. So that's the ultimate goal within the next 5 years, is to think of a plan to expand to bigger and to greater. So
well, that is amazing. Well, I'm so excited to just see what happens and the impact, because it's something is really needed. It truly, truly is needed. And even more so right now with whatever's going to be the results of this, the pandemic, essentially, there's going to be more people that are going to need to be mentored. They're going to need to be exposed to other opportunities, or just positive people that are going to help with shifting their mindset, because that plays a major part in like how people interact on a day-to-day and how they go about the world, and if they're making a difference or if they're not making a difference, if they're giving or they're only taking. And so it's powerful to see what you both are, building and growing. So I would like for you to be able to share again, if anybody is more interested in either being a part of your organization or finding out more about you, how would they go about doing this?
okay, thank you. So like I said before, you all can reach us on our website, and that is generationalchangers.com, or Facebook at Generational Changers. And we're also located on Instagram as well. So if you type in Generational Changers on any of those outlets, you will be able to find us and inbox us and reach us there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so very much for chatting with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
Yes, asked a few difficult questions.
I know, you just threw those in there.
But you answered everything amazing. And I thank you again. I hope everyone enjoyed this interview. Please share and comment below. And please go out and check on their website. And if you're looking to be a mentor, take time to go into Generational Changers, their Facebook page or website, to find out more information on how you can help with making a difference. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye.